first of all, one of the topics of today is immigration. Immigration. And I had one of my researchers at our network look and see, I hope they're right, that you're a descendant of the Mayflower.
This has come up a few times in the last week of my doing interviews. Apparently there was someone, I haven't, but someone looked up and very distantly there were 5 people on the Mayflower that I'm related to in some bizarre way.
I was going to ask if it was a good voyage, but I think the voyage was good.
Well, the first ones I remember is my grandfather. My grandfather grew up in a small farm, dairy farm in Pennsylvania, milking cows. So I don't know how that relates to the Mayflower, but
Who knows?
my roots of American soil to me are much stronger than the boat voyage in the Mayflower.
What would that be?
Huh?
What would that be?
I don't know. I just feel, I feel very rooted in a way. I feel like I'm in the soil, and I feel like I'm reaching for the sun.
Is it a far reach?
No, it isn't
doesn't seem.
actually.
It seems like
Surprisingly.
you're comfortable with yourself. When I've seen you and our viewers across America, watched you, I'm sure you have a calmness about yourself and a bit of humor that
I'm older.
you. You're older,
I'm
not older than
we
me.
get that when we get older. These guys are so young here now. You see, they don't know anything about that. They're babies.
They have no idea what we're talking about.
No.
You know, Norman is about a lot of different things. One is about New York and the energy in New York
Yeah.
City. I like your comments, both of you, about the impact of New York on what's life like on the street of New York, because this is much about what we have. Was it hard to direct, or was it New Yorkish?
It was hard to direct because, you know, the world doesn't cooperate with an artistic ambition. You have to force the reality to cooperate. But thankfully, we were surrounded by people who were with us, you know, trying to capture this.
This was not for beginners, this movie. It was a 30-day shoot. I keep forgetting. 30
around
days.
30 days, yeah.
And which in the old days would have been a 50-day shoot, anyhow, maybe more. And we were, you know, certainly a low budget. We were in the lower category of independent filmmaking. So all of us needed to know what we were doing to pull this off, and especially him. We had to get it right. There's no going back.
I guess this has to do with economics, what we just came off of as well. I mean, that's the focus, how much it takes to make a movie today. It's not like the I was going to say good old days, but they're good old days today.
I think there's analogies. I'm still making the same kind of movies that I made when I started. You know, independent, feeling film stories about people, stories that had some literary content to them in their storytelling. And they were low-budget films then, you know. It's just the difference is where the financing comes from now. It's not the smaller, more difficult movie part of the package of movies that a studio makes. These are all independent films where you've got to find angels who are willing to take a shot.
Well, from Greece to Norman, closing remarks from both of you. We don't have much time left here, but meaningful in what way?
Meaningful movies, movie making. Meaningful
Norman.
in
Norman. Focus on Norman. What's the meaning
Norman,
of Norman?
to me, he's my Charlie Chaplin. Norman is us, you know, with all the flaws and the joys. He has a genuine, he hates it when I say this, but I think there is a wholly idiot side to Norman. There's also the side of Norman that wants his 7% of the deal.
Right.
And I think we can feel what, this is the Chaplin side of it, we feel what he's going through. We feel his humiliations, we feel his need to belong. We feel how he's a small player in some very large stories, which I think most of us tend to feel. that we're not the stars of our own stories, but we're kind of bit players in larger narratives.
I don't think I can add anything after that. If Norman is Richard Gere's Charlie Chaplin, and then I'm just grateful for that.
In one closing 10 seconds here, we should make our audience across America aware of the fact that there is something special in this movie about Norman meeting what ends up to be a prime minister, assistant prime minister of Israel, deputy prime minister.
Right.
It's a little bit of Israel anyway, without giving away the whole.
No, it's a lot of Israel, actually.
That's right.
It's a lot. In fact, we just opened it in Israel, and the poster there was half New York and half Tel Aviv or Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And it was the Lior Ashkenazi, who plays the prime minister, is back to back with me in an almost Pretty Woman pose, the two of us. This bromance between these two kind of odd lovers.
It's a tale of two cities, I think. It's New York and Jerusalem, the two centers of the world.
Those are the two centers of the world.
I believe that.
Yeah, very strongly. Thank you for that part.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your time.